Hello everybody, welcome back to Bo's Tiny Kitchen. My name is Bo. Today I would like to introduce you a typical way to cook Chinese noodle. It is not like using water and boil noodle, it's not that easy. It actually, as we can see here, we have meat, we have vegetable, we have a lot of things together. We actually need to fry a dish. We fry them together, make a dish, and then we mix the dish with noodle together. It is actually a typical northern Chinese dinner, and it's really good, really delicious. It is my favorite. So today I'm going to show you how to do it. It is really easy. So now it is time to introduce what kind of vegetable we're going to need today. As we can see here, we need potato, we need pepper. I choose two and different color is because I want to make them more beautiful, when we put in the plate. And also here we need a squash. It is actually a big one. And here I would like to introduce the basic stuff of Chinese dish. The combination of green onion, garlic, and ginger. We need to slice the green onion, slice the garlic, and chop the ginger. The combination of this, I think, is the basic taste of all Chinese dish. So remember that is really important. Also, what we have in this bowl, we have 2 tomatoes and some mushrooms. It doesn't matter what kind of mushroom we need. For example, me personally, I like mushrooms. So sometimes I will combine different mushrooms together to make it more delicious, like what I do today. But it really doesn't matter. If you, for example, you do not like mushroom, maybe some people may be allergic to mushroom, you can skip it. It's totally fine. Yeah, and also don't forget meat. That is really important to make this dish. Okay, now let's start cutting. Every time when talking about cutting meat, vegetable, or everything, I always have a order. Which things should I cut first and which things I should cut last? Normally I would start with meat is because sometimes meat, in Chinese dish, meat after cut it, you need to put spice in it and to make them have some flavor you want. And normally you will, after you season them, you have to put it there to wait until the flavor get into the meat. That is also a really important technique to remember. So normally I would start with meat. After I cut the meat, I would mix them with the spices here, and then I will cut the vegetable so that we can have the time for the meat to totally combine with the flavor. Let the flavor get into the meat. Make them together. It is really good combination, and it's a technique also I get from last generation. Yeah. Okay, let's cut meat. And here we need to, this is pork meat with skin, as you can see. And here we need to slice them. How small should we slice them? We need to, according to how thick the meat is, we need to cut them, from the, after we cut it, you see here is a square shape. This shape would be perfect for our meat cutting. So yeah, I gotta finish the job real quick. Okay, after finished cutting, we need a little bowl to put them together. And now, before we cut the rest of the vegetable and all this stuff, we need to season the meat first. Okay, now let's season in the meat. And when talking about seasoning, I think this is the perfect time to introduce you the spices we're going to use today. Actually, it is really simple. It is not as complicated as you imagine or expected. Requires a lot of unique Chinese traditional specific thing. No. The only thing unique is this one. This is called soy sauce. Printed here, superior soy sauce. This is from China. This is Chinese soy sauce. A little bit different from the Japanese soy sauce, but well, if you do not have an Asian market at your place, I think it is also okay to use Japanese soy sauce to replace. The only difference between these two kind of soy sauce is Japanese soy sauce contains a little bit slightly taste of sweet, and Chinese soy sauce is more salty to me, I think. And what else? Here, oil, of course, and black pepper, sugar, and salt. That's it. Quite easy. Okay, first we put black pepper in it. How much? My answer still doesn't matter, as much as you like. I think this is actually a concept of Chinese cooking. You use more feeling instead of, the standard, the measuring. After a long time, after you become an experienced chef, you will know, like it is your right hand or something. You will know exactly how much each kind of spice you need to make a certain flavor. Well, I'm still on my way to become a really good chef, but to me, I prefer, free myself. I put as much spices as I want. For example, I like black pepper, so I put more than normal amount. It is totally fine. If it tastes a little bit weird, then next time I will know that I will put less black pepper, for example. So it is actually a process of learning. So I think, yeah, it is really important to make yourself free when cooking. Do not limit yourself with all those amounts stuff. It's too much. So now let's continue. We already put black pepper in. Now it's sugar. A little bit would be fine, just to add some taste. And salt. This is the main role here. And soy sauce. Here is one thing we always need to keep in mind. If you're cooking one dish that you requires soy sauce and salt together, remember, do not put enough salt in just the one time. It's because soy sauce is also really salty. So if you put too much salt in it, and later when you put soy sauce in it, this dish will be too salty. So it's kind of like ruin everything. So every time I put a small amount of salt in it, and then I add soy sauce, then I taste. If the salty taste is not enough, then I add more, either soy sauce or salt. It is totally fine. It is easier to plus than minus. So yeah, a little bit soy sauce. Again, doesn't matter how much. And yeah, this is my chopstick. And now we mix them together. You might ask, is this enough? Yeah, this is enough. When you see the color of the soy sauce covered almost every piece of meat, now you know that your mixing job is done. So we just put our bowl aside, and then we cut other stuff. Like I said before, green onion, we need to slice them. And according to the amount of green onion, actually according to the amount of vegetable. As you can see, we have a lot of vegetables today, so I need to cut more green onion here, so that can be enough. The taste, like I said, The taste of green onion, garlic, and ginger, the combination is the basic of Chinese dish. And ginger, like I said before, I only need a few slices. 3 would be a good number to me. Yep. Finally, garlic. Normally, personally, I love garlic. So I'm gonna put a lot of garlic in the vegetable. Today I only use 2 is because I only have 2. And yeah, almost forget the ginger. Like I said, we need to chop up the ginger. So it requires a little bit more time, but yeah, I enjoy doing that. Almost done. And after finishing this part of job, we need to take another little plate, put onion, ginger, and garlic in this little plate. Yeah. Okay, in a little plate and put aside. Now, let's cut vegetables. As I said before, most of them are actually required to slice. Okay, after finishing our cutting job, now it's time to really heat everything up. What we need to do now is to, of course, turn on the stove, put oil into it, yeah, you might say it's a lot of oil. Yeah, it is. Because, like I said, the dish is not just for tonight. It is for maybe tomorrow, whole day. So, yeah. So now, I think it's ready to fry the meat. Normally, I prefer to use higher temperature to cook meat, is because this is more delicious. I don't know why, I cannot explain, but I just do so. Why I keep stirring here is because, well, I don't want the meat to stick at the bottom of the pot. As I said before, I prefer using more intense temperature to fry the meat. If you stop moving it maybe for a while, then it will stick. Especially today, the meat actually has skin on it, so you need to move it more frequently. Smells really good. Okay, now, as you can see, the color of the meat actually changed. It's lighter. But if you see into details, you still can see it is pinkish under the lighter color. Now it's a perfect time to put ginger, garlic, and onion, and mix them together. Immediately you will smell the combination of these three with meat. This is the best smell ever. I love this smell. The most enjoyable moment before every meal is this moment when you smell the combination of ginger, garlic, and onion. Now, just briefly stir them together and we put all the vegetable in our pot. Now you might ask me, is it too much? No. Trust me. Now, you see it's too much because all the vegetables are raw. When they are raw, they contain a lot of water in it. After frying them for a while, especially later I will introduce you a technique to let them to push the water out of the vegetable. After the water get out of the vegetable, it is actually I guess maybe just a little bit more than half pot. This is actually called a pan, sorry. A little bit more than half of this pan. So yeah, it's not too much. So we briefly mix them, stir a bit. What I'm doing is to try to put the oil and the mixture of meat and the ginger, garlic, onion, all those things. I try to make each piece of vegetable contact with those. So vegetable can have their flavor. Like I said, it is the basic flavor of Chinese food. So it is really important to let them have that kind of flavor. Yeah, I think it is quite good already. But still, we need to keep doing the job. And now, when you see the vegetable, the surface of vegetable is shining, is because of the oil, of course. The majority of the vegetable is shining, so it means that the mixed job is kind of like done. Now comes the technique. How to push the water out of the vegetable by using salt. Just a little bit. Do not add enough. I mean enough is the proper amount of this dish required. I mean salt. Do not meet the requirement is because now the process is just to try to push the water out of the vegetable. It doesn't mean that we need to properly season them. So yeah, as you can hear, the sound is actually getting weaker and weaker. Why? It's because water gets out. So it is no longer frying. Now it's, well, let's say it's kind of like boiling, because if you want to see, here is actually water. So yeah. But still, we need to continue stirring them and mix them together. One reason for doing that is because I need to make them evenly cooked. I don't want to, for example, I eat pepper, it is overcooked, and I eat squash, it is still raw. That is not pleasant. I'm telling you, when I began to learn how to cook, I actually make several times that kind of dish. It is horrible. It is really a horrible experience. So remember, stirring, keep stirring. It's really important. Okay, we just put salt in it. As we now can see, there are less vegetables because the water gets out. Now what? We need to put some other spices in. For example, black pepper. As I said before, I love black pepper. So I prefer to cook. I prefer to put as much as possible. So yeah, I put a lot. I know. And also sugar. Here I put sugar in it is because sugar can make the dish more tasty. And you know, like I said, the flavor of combination, it is really important. So, but not too much. The proper amount is when you taste the dish, you cannot taste sweetness. That is perfect. If you taste sweetness, that is another thing. Some of the dish require sweetness, yeah, I know, but not this one. This is still a salty dish. Okay, so now what we need to do is wait. During this time, I don't think it's okay to just sit down and wait. It is actually, like I said before, we need to eat this dish together with noodle, so it's time to boil the water. Turn on another stove and continue mixing, continue stirring. Now it's time to add the soy sauce in it. How much? Doesn't matter. Only principle, not too much. How much is too much? Depends on you. Attention, here is really important. We need to wait until the vegetable is soft. Not necessarily potato, but the other, for example, squash, mushroom, and pepper. They all get soft now. And then we put tomato into it. And we then let them cook together. You may ask why I put tomato this late. Why only now I put tomato in the pan? It's because, you know, tomato is sour. Sour thing is a really tricky thing in Chinese cooking. I mean, for example, now in the pot, I have to wait all the other vegetables turn soft. Then I can put sour thing into it. Otherwise, when other vegetable is still hard, or at least a little bit hard, then I put sour thing into it. Also, for example, vinegar. If I put sour thing into it, then the other vegetables never get soft. So it is really important to put sour things the last moment. Now the tomato gets soft. Time to taste. Just to see if it's salty, if you need more salt, or something else. It's perfect. Now, turn off the stove. Use the rest of the heat to mix them, continue mixing them. Continue stirring. Okay, now it's time to get the vegetable out. Okay, after we finish this, the only thing, let's say only two things left, is to wait until the noodle cooked and then mix them together. I'll show you later. There are still some techniques here. Okay, now the noodle is cooked and it's perfect. So I just need to get them out. Well, normally it's quite hot. And to tell you the truth, I actually hurt myself a lot when doing this process. You know, the hot water always get on my hand, sometimes my arm, sometimes even my face. So I don't know how did I do it, but still. And next step, we add the vegetable we just cooked together with the noodle. Now you might ask how much the amount. Now you might ask the amount of the vegetables I need to add in my bowl. Well, here I will not say as much as you want. Well, of course as much as you want, but normally what we do is 1 to 1. I mean, one certain amount of noodle and the same certain amount of vegetable. That is the best combination because it no more, no less. And mix them together. Now, when talking about mix them together, we need another thing. Well, you can skip this, but for people who really want to know the exact Northern Chinese taste, Northern Chinese flavor about this certain dish, I recommend you to get this one, Chinese vinegar. You see the difference between Chinese vinegar and other vinegar is that the Chinese vinegar color is dark. It's, let's say black, but it's actually dark brown. So we just add a little bit. It's pretty sour, but the combination with the food is really good. Continue mixing. Also, for example, me. Normally, when eating this kind of noodle, I would like to have a piece of raw garlic, eat with me together to make it more tasty. Also, it is a kind of like a habit, a routine stuff in my town. Is because everybody in my town love garlic, love raw garlic, not just garlic. So every time we eat noodle, we prefer to have a piece of raw garlic together with us. But unfortunately, today I run out of garlic. Like I said before, I only have 2 left for the vegetables. So yeah, only in vinegar. But it's good enough. So this is the whole process of our typical Chinese noodle. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.